Hi, I'm Sandra Pryor, and I begin the process of writing a new play. It varies a little bit with the play, but it's usually with like a very specific image, which is funny because I'm not much of a visual learner, but I there's usually just like an image or a line that just sticks in my brain, and I usually end up kind of crafting my whole play around that. And it can even be just like a frustration. Like one of my plays, it was a frustration of I'm kind of tired of the trans roles that I'm playing, and I would like to write some more interesting and nuanced trans roles for myself and other trans actors. And so that kind of catapulted me into one of my first plays. When I finish the first draft of my script, I usually let it rest for a little bit, just to kind of not burn myself out on it. And then I am very lucky to know some really wonderful people who have been kind of championing my writing, and so I tend to ask those people to give it a preliminary read in person if possible. I don't really like uh, Zoom read throughs, but I'll do it just if I can get to hear it out loud. And then it's just a lot of revising and editing. I go to a bunch of different places, because I find that different people have vastly different ideas. So it really helps getting like different perspectives, getting ideas from a lot of different people, because if they're agreeing on something, that means it's probably something I can take to heart. But if it's something where like other trans people are getting it and cis people maybe aren't, then I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to change that because it's the people I want to understand it are understanding it. And then it usually just kind of sits in my downloads as a PDF, and I keep tabs on different theaters that I like. And when I see that they have open submissions, I will submit to them. Um, and it's mostly just a waiting game once I get to a draft that I like. I'd say my why as like a queer playwright, it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm also an actor, and I I was definitely frustrated like for a while when I started getting trans roles of how they were all written by cis people, and I could tell they were all written by cis people. and and just how I didn't feel like they were capturing my experience, and I felt a little weird about performing those roles because I was like, I don't know if I don't know if you actually understand what it means to be trans. Like I think of one play where it I was playing a trans man who had already come out by the time the show, like, like the play had started, and yet was still listed as a female character in like the breakdowns, and was referred to by his dead name and with she her pronouns. Like in the dialogue he wasn't, but in the stage directions, like the author was misgendering him for no reason. And so there was just all these kinds of like little things. I was just like, I don't want that to be the way it is for any other trans actors, and I was like, I am going to change it. I am just one man and I just have one experience, but I'm going to write the plays that I feel like I don't see enough, that I wanted, when I was first coming out. Because when I first came out as trans, I thought it was going to be the end of my acting career. I was like, well, there goes any ability to act. And so it's really just about like forcibly making theater more hospitable for people like me. I always specify that, like, in my casts, if there's a trans character, they have to be played by a trans actor, and I won't let them produce it if they don't. And so by doing that, I'm trying to make space for more people like me, not just uplifting my voice, but more queer people and more trans people and more neurodivergent people, and just a lot of people who've been excluded from the conversation, who people don't even realize how involved we want to be in theater, and that we would be if theater was more welcoming to people like us. If I could tell my younger self anything, um, I'd probably tell him that it's gonna suck for a while. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but like it's hard. It's gonna be hard, and that's okay. But like everyone's gonna say it will get better, and you're not going to believe them, but it is actually going to get better. And even when there are moments that feel like you're regressing or going back, it's still going to be better than being in the closet and living as female and things like that. And you're going to find your people. I was so isolated at the beginning of my transition. It was life changing for me when I, started meeting other trans people. And so I just want to say, you're going to find other trans people, and you're going to find other people just like you, and it is going to make a world of difference. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and be kind to the people around you, because you don't know what they're going through, and they probably don't know what you're going through. Um, and trust your mom a bit more. She's good. She's on your side. She gets more than you think. Let her in a little bit. And that's probably what I'd say to him.